Hey, this is Deepak here from digitaldeepak.com and welcome to the day 8 of the 100-day digital marketing course. So, hey Sandhya, welcome to day 8.
Hi Deepak, thank you.
So, Sandhya, in day 7, we set up professional email for you. And if you remember, towards the end of day 7's recording, the DNS has not propagated completely, especially the MX records, which is the mail exchange records.
Yeah.
And the emails were not delivering and it was bouncing.
Yeah.
So right after we finished recording that video, it started working actually. So today I did another test. So right now we are at sandhya@targetcontent.com's email ID. And I just sent a test email and you can see the test email has been received.
Oh wow.
So I will send one more reply here. So I will just call it reply 1 and I will click on send. And this is going back to my personal email ID account. So here I should be able to see a reply. So I will just click on refresh. So this is the sent email. So usually it takes like 10 seconds to send the email because Gmail has like an undo feature. So let's go click on refresh again and you can see the reply has come here. So which means that the outgoing emails from sandhya@targetcontent.com is delivering properly. And what I will do is that I will reply to it again. So I will just say hi wife and click on send. Now you can see that message is sent. There is an undo feature here. So which means that Gmail usually kind of gives like a 10-second gap. Sometimes you make a mistake and hit send. There is an immediate way to just undo it.
Yeah.
So let's go back to your account. You can see that new message from Deepak has come. So the emails are receiving properly in your account right now.
Yeah.
Which means that this account is now capable of doing email outreach and all that. But we can't do that right now because even if you do email outreach, right now targetcontent.com, there is nothing here.
Yeah.
Earlier, if you remember, on targetcontent.com, it was listed for sale and it was redirecting to brand bucket website. But since we have updated the DNS records, those configurations have gone.
Yeah.
And we have not configured a website for target content yet, and that is why no page is loading.
Okay.
So this is updated. So you can see that the name servers are of name.com itself. So name.com is where we have registered the domain name and we have put name.com's own DNS here so that we can add the MX records and A records and CNAME records, whatever we need. So usually MX records are like this. So here you can see the MX records. There is something called an A record, which basically points to an IP address. Okay. So the IP address is of a server. So if you set up a new website, they will give you an IP address. You can point the domain name so that it can load from that server. There is also something called CNAME records. So certain websites will give you CNAME records instead of A records. And you can use CNAME as well. So don't worry too much about what is the difference between A records and CNAME records. If the website is asking you to set up a CNAME record, set up CNAME records. If it is asking you to set up a record, set up A record. So what we are going to do today is that we are going to go ahead and do this process all over again for one more domain that we have for this project, which is sandhya.pro. So sandhya.pro is the website where we are just going to put your personal brand there. We are going to kind of create like a hero page. So somebody can come and check your website out, maybe reach out to you, hire you as a freelancer or hire you as a full-time employee. So target content, we are going to keep it more like the agency website because the plan is to start a content marketing agency.
Yeah.
Sandhya.pro is going to be more of a personal website. Like for example, you have digitaldeepak.com, which is a personal website and blog. And then you have pixeltrack.com, which is my agency. So the advantage with having a company brand is that company brands are more trustworthy.
Yeah.
The company can outlive you.
Yeah.
And you can also have partners in your company.
Right.
So if targetcontent.com becomes a separate company,
yeah,
I hopefully will have some equity in it. And you could also hire like a partner and maybe give them 10%, 20% equity. So when you are giving equity, usually it's in the form of a private limited company or an LLP, which is something that we will get to later. But in terms of domain names and everything, we will have a look at it right now.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do right now is that I am planning to set up sandhya.pro on Wix. And a lot of people want to go ahead and create a Wix website. So a Wix website is basically a simple drag and drop website builder, which can be, pretty good for a personal branded website without too much of dynamic elements. It's mostly like a static element.
So anybody can build a website Even if they don't know coding.
Yeah, they don't need to know coding anymore, right? So here Wix.com is like a simple builder. There is also a pricing to Wix.com. If we go ahead and look at the pricing right now, it's 325 rupees per month. It is website plans, and then you have business and e-commerce plans. You also have a direct combo plan for personal use, which is 125 rupees a month. And you have the most basic plan, which is like 80 rupees a month.
What do you mean personal use here?
Personal use is basically like your personal branded website. It's for
Okay.
not for like a company thing.
Okay.
Bandwidth is 2 GB, which means that only so many people can load your website. And if the website is 1 MB, in a month, only 2000 times the website can load. If you get more than 2000 visitors, then you need like an unlimited plan or a VIP plan.
Okay.
And there is a storage space where you can store files inside this particular website, which is 3 GB. And you can set up a video also. So before we set up a Wix website, what I want to do is that I want to show you a different type of DNS.
Okay.
Okay. So usually what happens is that in most of the domain name registrars, which is like name.com, namecheap.com, godaddy.com, they will provide an internal DNS service, which is what we configured last time. On name.com, if you remember, we clicked on edit DNS records and we put all the MX records there.
Yeah.
But you can also configure another DNS service on your domain name because certain domain registrars will not have a DNS. And in many cases, the default DNS of the domain registrar is not that fast. All right.
Okay.
So I showed you Amazon Route 53 as being one of the domain name DNS providers. And there is something called Cloudflare. And this is Cloudflare. So you can sign up for a free account on Cloudflare and you can set up Cloudflare DNS as well.
Okay.
If you set up Cloudflare DNS, the MX records, A records, CNAME records, whatever you are configuring will be inside Cloudflare.
Okay.
But again, your question might be next, how does Cloudflare connect to your domain name? Yeah, because domain name is on name.com or namecheap.com. And what happens is that when you sign up for a Cloudflare account, Cloudflare will give you some name servers, which you can go and update it on your domain registrar.
Okay.
And the DNS gets configured inside Cloudflare instead of the domain name registrar itself.
Right.
Got it? So,
Got it.
So right now, Sandhya.pro is on namecheap.com, not name.com.
Last time we did, it was on name.com.
Name.com.
Right?
Yeah. So I'm just showing you a different interface so that you and our audience can learn that the interface and the display might be different, but the concept is the same.
Yeah.
So if you go to Sandhya.pro inside Namecheap, you will be able to see that it has Namecheap basic DNS. Just like name.com has their own DNS, it is on Namecheap basic DNS. So what I will do is that I will go ahead and click on custom DNS. And if I do custom DNS, I have to put name servers here.
Okay.
So what we will do is that we will first sign up for a Cloudflare account.
Okay.
So right now I have already filled up these details. So I will use sandhya@targetcontent.com, or in fact we can use sandhyadeepakpro@gmail.com. You can use targetcontent.com's email ID only for client communication. For rest of the accounts, you can use the Gmail account.
Okay.
So click on create account here. And I will click on never. And here you can see that accelerate and protect your website or application, secure your organization, developer platform. So what we need is this probably, and we need to enter the website. So that is sandhya.pro. That is the domain name. Click on add site. So here they will show you there is a pro plan, business plan, enterprise plan, but there is also a free plan. So I will go and select the free plan. Free plan in most of the cases is enough. Even digitaldeepak.com on Cloudflare is on the free plan.
Oh, nice.
So I will click on continue. So it is scanning the existing DNS records so that it can import it, because now we are changing the DNS service provider. Right? So right now there are some existing DNS records, but we don't need to worry about it. There are some MX records also. So what I will do is that I will go ahead and delete all of them. We can configure them later. And we'll probably not set up a Google Workspace account for Sandhya.pro. But if you are interested, I can show you how to set up Zoho mail for Sandhya.pro, just to show you and the audience that if you are not using Google Workspace email ID, you can also use Zoho's email service. So Zoho will give their own MX records and you have to update it on your website.
Okay.
So MX records are for mail exchange, and A record and CNAME records are for the website configuration. So I will delete all of them right now because we have to rebuild it from scratch.
So was this already there as default?
Yeah, it was already there because they have some basic configuration setup. Whenever you register the domain name with namecheap.com, they might try to sell you their own email service. So they would have updated those default things there. So now you can see that it says remove the following name servers and add Cloudflare's name servers. So once you update the name server on Namecheap, Namecheap's DNS does not apply anymore.
Yeah.
Cloudflare's DNS will apply.
Right, because you're customizing your DNS.
Yeah. So here there are like 2 name servers. Usually there are 2 name servers. With Amazon, there will be 4 name servers. I don't know why that exactly is like 2 or sometimes 4. I think it's more of a backup thing and redundancy thing. But most of the service providers, DNS service providers, will give you like 2 name servers. So now we have configured the name servers. I will click on save. So these name servers got updated. And here also you can see that registrars can take up to 24 hours to process name server updates. You will receive an email when your site is active on Cloudflare. So I will click on done check name servers and click on get started. I will click on finish later. So let's go back to the overview. So this is basically the same step again. Click on overview. So the DNS will take some time to propagate, right? And when it propagates, we will be ready to go. So pending name server update. So we need to give it some time. In the meantime, we can also go into DNS and refresh it here. So these were the previous name servers. Now I'll click on report again. And you can see that Cloudflare name servers are not updated yet. So we need to wait until it gets updated. Now I will go ahead and sign up on Wix.com. So I have pre-filled these details. Click on sign up. Hopefully there is a free trial. So this is for myself. Click on continue. So you are creating a portfolio website, right? And it's a general portfolio. I'll just call it Sandhya Deepak. Click on next.
So is this something like a username or something that you need to remember?
No, you can edit it later also.
Okay.
So right now they have a portfolio website section, which is like a template which you can add probably. We'll click on next. I'll go to the dashboard. And it's preparing the dashboard. So manage.wix.com is where you go ahead and manage your website. So now add a project to your portfolio, connect a custom domain. So your next question might be, Cloudflare is separate, Namecheap is separate. Now we connected Cloudflare and Namecheap with updating Cloudflare's name servers on Namecheap. But how would Wix know that, hey, we have to get connected to Sandhya.pro? And if somebody visits Sandhya.pro on their website, how would the entire system know that you have to load it from Wix and not from some other server, right? So you have to connect the custom domain. So I will click on connect domain. I will put your website URL here, which is Sandhya.pro. Click on let's go. So let it load. So in many cases, Wix.com will also give you an option to buy a domain name from Wix itself, but I would not recommend that because sometimes if you want to move a domain name from one registrar to another, it becomes difficult because the interface is not very common. You might not find support articles and stuff like that. So just like mobile number portability, where you can change your Airtel number to Geo number to something else. What happens is that website domain names also have that portability. You can move a domain from GoDaddy to Namecheap to name.com and all that is possible. So that's why I prefer namecheap.com in most of the cases. So we are saying that we have a custom domain already and I own this domain name. So now it is asking us to upgrade to premium because only in the premium plan, the feature for connecting your own domain name is available. So I will click on upgrade. And here we have to select the plan. So there is an offer here, which is unlimited plan. So personal use plan, we saw 125 rupees per month was there. Connecting the domain is the most basic plan, but this plan displays Wix ads, which we don't want. So here, out of these two options and out of all the options, this looks like the most likely option that we can go for. So we will select this plan and I will go ahead and pay yearly instead of 2 years. So if it is 2 years, it's only 75 rupees. If it is yearly, it is 92.5 rupees. So I will click on continue to checkout. And here you have to make the payment and checkout.
So you'll have to buy for 12 months. Can't you like buy for 2 months, 1 month?
I would prefer going ahead and buying for 12 months because it does give me an offer.
Yeah.
And it comes to around 1100 rupees for an entire year, right? Because 185 rupees is the plan, but you are getting it for 92.5 rupees. So 92.5 into 12 months is 1100 rupees. This much investment I think is recommended for you to build your own personal website.
Yeah.
Right?
1100 rupees for your personal website.
Yeah. And the domain name also costs like something like $10 a year. So that is another 500 rupees per year.
Okay.
So I have to fill up all these details.
So setting up your entire account and your website takes totally somewhere like 1600 to 1700 rupees.
Less than 2000 rupees.
Less than 2000 rupees for an entire year, which is very much recommended if you want to build your portfolio and approach clients as a freelancer who has more credibility because you are portraying yourself out there on an online platform.
So a LinkedIn profile alone might not be enough, right? So what happens is that you also have to buy Google Workspace, right? That would cost you around 1500 rupees a year. So 1500 per year for your email, professional email, 1110 rupees for your website and another $10 for your domain name. So overall, I would say around 3000 to 3500 rupees per year is what you need to expect to spend. And 3500 divided by 12 is like 300 rupees a month.
Yeah.
So 300 rupees a month is the minimum expected investment for you to go out and build your personal brand out there.
Right.
And start putting yourself on the map of the internet.
Yeah, I mean, this much basic, investment for you to set up your entire website is, I think, very much sensible because today people are ready to spend something like 30-40K on a mobile phone just because it's fancy. Yeah. This is the real investment which will give you returns.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. So what we will do is that we will look at some Wix alternatives as well. So I would put Wix versus, and you have WordPress, Shopify, Webflow, Squarespace, Weebly. So I have heard some good things about Squarespace and Weebly. So let's look at Weebly. So Weebly
Even
is also like
website builders.
Yeah, these are also like website builders, and Shopify is more built for e-commerce sites. Weebly is more for like maybe personal websites, but they do have multiple options like online stores as well. So let's go and check the pricing of Weebly, and it's $10 a month, which is a little bit pricey. I think Wix gives you the cheapest option just to have like a personal website. I will also check out Squarespace. It's also a hosting company. So they also have website templates which you can like drag and drop, edit it, and then go ahead and create a website there. So here you can see you have products. So they also have e-commerce. They have for portfolios, for blogs. So let's check portfolios. and it says create a portfolio website, which is very important for people looking for jobs, people looking for freelancing. You need to create a portfolio because people will come and check you out. They will come and check the blogs that you have written. So all that needs to be there if you are expecting to go ahead and win some projects.
Yeah.
Right. So the pricing is not very clear on Squarespace, which is fine. And one of the cheapest ways to build is WordPress itself. So if you look at WordPress, you have WordPress.com, which is a free version. And then you have WordPress.org, which is the open source software that you can install on your own website. So a lot of people, what they do, if they are good at it, they go ahead and buy hosting from a company. So hosting from a company can be bought from, let's say, Bluehost. I prefer Hostinger. So
what's a host?
Hostinger.in/digital Deepak. First, I will show you this. So basically, when you go ahead and buy a hosting at Hostinger or Bluehost, what happens is that they just give you the hosting space. They don't give you a website or a drag and drop template builder or anything. They will just give you hosting space. So here you can see that you have 69 rupees per month, single website hosting. This is the price it starts with, which is pretty cheap.
Okay.
But the disadvantage is that unlike Wix, they will not give you like templates where you can drag and drop and a website builder or anything like that. You have to install WordPress into this.
So do you really need a hostinger kind of a thing or a hosting website?
If you want to create a WordPress website, yes.
Okay.
Right? And if you want to create a blog, yes, you need Hostinger.
Why would you want to create a WordPress website if you can do the same in Wix? Like, what are the benefits?
WordPress has a lot of plugins and a lot of themes. If I just search for WordPress themes, you can see that first of all, there are plenty of third-party providers who provide themes for WordPress. Elegant Themes and Theme Forest are some of the providers. But you also have WordPress themes within WordPress itself. They have like plenty of website themes. And a lot of websites are hosted on WordPress. As I said, 70% of the web is hosted on WordPress. But for a lot of beginners, WordPress might be intimidating. And you don't need to necessarily create a blog if you are just creating a portfolio website. You can just go ahead and create a Wix website. So Wix is simple, drag and drop page builder is there. And you can just set it up before you start your outreach campaign. And within a few days of this particular course, we will actually start our outreach campaign once your personal portfolio website is ready, which means that you will start getting replies from real potential clients, and that is going to be very exciting.
Right.
All right. So there are plenty of options. Sometimes people get like overwhelmed. So here, Envato Market, themeforest.net is also a very good website where you can find a lot of website themes. So if I just search for like portfolio.
So all these themes can be used for building a WordPress website.
But these themes cannot be used for Wix.
Okay.
Right. So
maybe what you can do is you can have a look here, take an idea about the colors and everything and go back to Wix and build your own website similar.
Yeah. If you have the creative bone in you and you can match the colors and, change stuff, you can do that. But problem is that a lot of these website designs will be like very complex. Like for example, I can go ahead and do a live preview of this particular theme. And it might be very difficult to create these kind of effects on Wix by basically having a drag and drop builder. So here you can see. So
once you build your website on say Wix, can you move it to WordPress?
Yeah, you can do that, but it will take a lot of effort to redesign the entire thing.
Which means that you can begin with Wix as
a beginner. You can begin with Wix.
And then move to WordPress once you understand the the complex things about it.
Yeah. So here you can see this is one WordPress theme. You can kind of plug this into your WordPress and then edit some of these parts and basically create a website on WordPress. So here the kind of animations and the website layout that you see might be difficult to recreate on WordPress if you try to do it. All right. So we have WordPress, we have Squarespace, we have elegant themes where they have a theme called Divi theme, which is very famous. So in our team, Shreyas is the WordPress expert. So maybe we will call Shreyas for one of the videos in the 100-day course to help us redesign a WordPress website, install a particular theme. And we will kind of keep it short for this video. You understood that, the Cloudflare, how it works and everything. Let's try to do a refresh here. See if it is updated. Yeah, it says active now.
Okay.
So what you need to do is that in the next day, we will go ahead and create a Wix website. And when you connect your personal domain name to the Wix website, Wix will give you some DNS details. And this
Okay.
is not for mail exchange like Zoho Mail or Google Workspace. It is for website loading. So it will either be a record or a CNAME record. So that we have to come and put it back in Cloudflare and not Namecheap.
Okay.
Okay, so that now there is a
Yeah.
two-step of connection. Namecheap
it.
domain name is connecting to Cloudflare. Cloudflare domain name will go ahead and connect it to Wix or WordPress hosting or any other site that
And
you
then you
want to
take
host.
your details from Wix, come back to Cloudflare, stick it there.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I just wanted to go over this once more so that it becomes very clear to understand. So that's about it for today's lesson. And I hope now you got a little bit better clarity about DNS, domain names.
Yeah,
All that?
I think I'll go back and watch our own video again
Yeah.
so that I get a better understanding of this.
Fantastic. Cool, Sandhya. So in the next lesson, we will go ahead and start creating your website. Now that the Cloudflare account is set up, we are good to go with Sandhya.pro. So that is something that we will set up first.
Awesome. Excited.
See you. Bye-bye.
See you, Deepak.